Hello, everyone. I promised a part 3 to our little series where I tell you about how we got each of our dogs. We've talked Toby and Thomas. We've talked Barkley and Briar. And I'm going to tell you about our terror twins, Bruce and Blaire. After Thomas died in November of 23, we said we really weren't planning on getting any more dogs for a while. And we kind of stuck to that temporarily. We didn't get any more dogs until I saw a post by one of our local rescues in March that said that they had a special needs Rottweiler girl puppy. Rottweiler is a breed of dog that their dad had really been wanting to get sometime in the future. We weren't planning quite so soon. But when we saw that they had this special needs Rottie girl at one of our local rescues, I had sent him a screenshot of the post, and he said, ultimately, it was up to my decision. I said, well, let's go meet her and see what we think, see if she'd be a good fit with our other 3. Because at that point, since Thomas had passed, we had Toby, and we had Barkley, and we had Briar. So we went to meet her, and she was just absolutely perfect. So we picked up Blaire, and they had told us at the time that they had mentioned that she had a brother. But from the way they talked, we didn't realize, we thought he had already been adopted. We didn't realize he was also special needs. They just had talked about the differences in their personalities. So we assumed since the brother wasn't there when we picked her up, that he had already been adopted. That was not the case. A couple weeks later, that same rescue posted her brother for sale, and or for adoption. And same thing, they said he was also a special needs Rottweiler puppy, and they'd be very picky about what kind of home he goes to. And so we called and we asked if it was Blaire's brother, and it was. And at that point, we had already taken her to the cardiologist. She had already been diagnosed with the severe subaortic stenosis. She had already been given the prognosis that there was only a 15% chance that she would survive to see age 3. And we knew all of that before we knew her brother was available for adoption. So when they posted that they had her brother, we called, asked, and confirmed that it was her brother. They said he was also special needs. We heavily assumed that he probably had the same case scenario. So we went and we adopted him as well. Since then, we have taken them, they've had multiple trips to the cardiologist. If you followed our story at all over the last year, Bruce actually has a worse case of subaortic stenosis than Blaire does. He actually has mitral valve dysplasia as well. So 2 of his valves are affected and not just the one. So Blaire was only given a 15% chance of making it to see age 3. Bruce was given a prognosis that his was likely less than that. In June and July of last year, Bruce actually went into multiple heart failure episodes at very young ages, 6 and 7 months old. He was in such severe heart failure in the first episode that he actually ended up having to stay overnight at the cardiologist hospital, which is 2 hours from us, on oxygen and on IVs, and we were not sure he was going to pull through then. He did. He's on an extensive amount of medication. They were both on medicine for their conditions, but Bruce was on quite a bit more. And in November, they turned 1. So they have made it 1 whole year of life. We are hoping that we get at least 3 years out of them, if not more. And we are doing everything we can to get them to that point. But that's kind of how we got into special needs dog parenting. And it all started with little Thomas. And after Thomas passed away, we hopped in and got these 2. And I don't see us stopping anytime in the future.